This is the second episode of the Jenny Craig commercial where we watch Pico lose weight every episode.
Gradually. Every episode he loses 5 pounds.
We record these episodes 6 months apart.
He's losing it very slowly. Very slowly. He's on the Ozempic that doesn't really work very well, but it's a little safer.
I think they call it Kilimanjaro.
Lights, camera, action, let's roll! Welcome to the show, Macho Cine Talks! Where movies go for lights, camera, action, let's roll! Welcome to the show, Macho Cine Talks!
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Macho Cine Talks. This is episode 5, and we are going to be talking about Halloween movies today. One of my favorite holidays of the year, of course. Joining me is a familiar face, a guy we've had on the podcast before, where we talked about comedies in movies, and that is Pico! Yo, 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 yo.
That was the longest intro. Thank you. That's been an hour. Thank you for watching our podcast. We'll see
And
you again
we're out.
next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much. Love ya. And we're back. So, and behind the scenes, the man with the golden voice was Pico, but now he's given the title up to Raul Hernandez.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, our sound engineer for the day.
That's
Yes.
sexy. That's a sexy voice.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to try my sweaty balls?
Sweaty.
Nice, nice.
All right, Alec Baldwin. Get it? Because he's bald? All right.
Oh,
Ba-da-boom.
guys.
Bad joke.
Shots fired.
All right,
You don't
all
even
right.
see him, so it's
Well,
okay.
we have the little avatar, okay? We'll make
avatar
sure the
looks
avatar's there. People will
nothing
know.
like
People
him.
will know. You know, the thing about Halloween movies is that they don't always have to be horror movies. It's just a movie that gets you into the Halloween spirit. And I think that some of those are definitely horror movies, but a lot of them aren't. I like to start, though, with, you know, when you think about Halloween, you think about horror, right?
This is Halloween.
This is Halloween. Halloween. Anyways.
That's what I think of when I think of. I've been singing that in my head the whole time. I've just been waiting. Like my ADD is like, let him speak, let him speak, let him cook. And it's like, it's my opportunity. This is Halloween. All right, I'm good. I just had to get that out there. I do love
okay.
slasher movies, man. Those are the best, right? Because the first thing you think of Halloween is you think Jason and you think Nightmare on Elm Street.
And
you
fun
think,
size candy.
You know,
It's not okay to eat like a regular size Snickers bar, but it's okay to eat 100 miniature Snickers or whatever they're
All right,
called.
quick moment here. What's your favorite Halloween candy? Peanut M&Ms for me.
Oh, peanut M&Ms.
I can go through the fun size.
Reese's
Cups. the
Reese's
best.
Cups. That's it all the way.
Halloween's got to be the scariest for people with peanut allergies.
Oh yeah, so much peanuts in candy, right?
It is everything. It's
Bro, what's yours?
Dude, a Crunch Bar.
Okay.
There is very few things better than a Crunch Bar.
I'll tell you one thing better than a Crunch Bar, a
What?
Mr. Good Bar.
Get the
yellow
get
one?
out
Oh,
of here.
those are
Peanuts?
okay.
I love
bro.
peanuts. I guess that's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
I'm trying to
yeah.
tell you.
That's
Really.
the Pepsi to the Coke that is Crunch
Wow,
Bar,
okay,
bro.
all right.
You know what? And as far as chocolate is concerned, for sure, I go with the Reese's. But when it comes to like the sweet, fruity ones, I like the ones that they come in like a little cylinder, and they're all like they look like little pills.
Okay.
What are those?
Smarties.
Are they called Smarties?
Yeah, Smarties.
Oh, I love those. They
Love
have like
Smarties.
a chalky
Those are
aftertaste.
weird, but I know exactly what you mean. They're the best.
And wait, hold on. One other thing, and this might be controversial.
Before we go
but
back to talking about movies.
candy corn. I love
alright.
candy corn.
What? Okay, do you take bites out of it per color? Like, do you go through by color? Or you
Yeah,
swallow the whole thing?
I've gone through the entire array of how to eat a candy corn. I bite the little colors off in one direction, in the other direction. I pop them. I take like 10 at a time. I've done it all, and
My stomach
Love
hurts just talking about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So what do you consider classic Halloween movies?
Okay, we got to go to the classics. That means that we got to go back to the 70s and maybe even the 60s. But for now, I'm going to stick to the 70s, and I'm going to go with The Exorcist. Definitely one of the horror classics. And it's not only a horror classic, it's also considered a masterpiece. I mean, it won an Oscar. The amount of stuff that happened on the set of that movie is worthy of 10 Oscars. I mean, Linda Blair, the girl that plays the possessed child, literally broke her back in the scene when she's like flailing back and forth, and then like she screams because I don't know, the demon is coming out. Well, she's actually screaming because she broke a vertebrae in her back.
Ouch.
And they use it in the movie.
They better use it in the movie.
Yeah. Another thing that's kind of interesting about that movie is that they kept the temperature at 40 degrees the entire time, so that whenever the girl with the demon inside of her that's being exorcised, they wanted her every time she spoke for like the breath to be visible, right? So imagine like the entire set, the crew, all the actors, they're suffering in 40 degree.
That would be my ideal set. I'm not lying. It'd be. I'm sweating just thinking about. It's 72 degrees in here, you know, and can you see my breath?
Yeah.
I can smell your breath.
Heyo, heyo.
And then like that movie also had just a bunch of weird things going on. Like later on, one of the guys that was in the movie was arrested for murder. It's just a lot of weird things. That movie, I don't know if it was cursed or what, but it's definitely a Halloween staple.
What's up, bro? Fun fact about that movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys know who Richard Branson is? Do you know the gentleman who owns Virgin?
Yeah, of course.
Richard Branson started Virgin Records. His first copyright song that he had under the label was Tubular Bells. He literally built Virgin Records on Tubular Bells, the theme song.
No,
Exorcist.
you're kidding me.
No, bro.
Wow. That's a great fun fact.
Yeah.
It just lives inside of your head back there somewhere.
It does.
It's beautiful. I love it.
What is it? That's the Twilight Zone.
No, that's Twilight. How does it go? Do you remember?
No, that's
that's
Halloween. That's Halloween.
That's Michael Myers.
All right, let's keep trying to guess. I like this game. Let's go. That's
Is it?
That's the wrong one. That's Halloween.
Now you got me all mixed.
Oh, that's Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells.
Just kidding, I'm
Oh
kidding.
my god.
Well, we'll put it in the clip.
Yeah.
We'll clip it. Another one, Carrie. That's another classic.
Oh, beautiful movie.
A Stephen King. And fun fact about Carrie,
Sorry,
fun fact about Carrie is that it was Stephen King's first novel and his first novel to be turned into a movie.
Interesting.
So that's a.
There you go.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, yeah.
Somebody can turn that into some cool dance hit. Yeah.
That sounds like
What's sad is that the
Dateline
composer,
NBC.
he never meant for it to be a scary movie song. He just is like a interesting beat.
Yeah,
like it was
yeah.
supposed to be upbeat. It was not meant to be a scary movie.
Really?
It sounds like something you would see like on Dateline. Like
It does. It does.
Raoul was prowling the nights, but nobody knew he was murdering girls in his basement.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see. I've been watching a lot of Dateline lately. There's like this channel that just plays Dateline episode after episode. No commercials or nothing. I could definitely hear that same kind of melody in a Dateline episode.
It was a quiet town until the murders rocked everyone.
I feel like they should copyright this saying in Dateline. They should just be like, little did he know. That's like always, little did he know.
And it's always in a deep voice. It's supposed to be scary and mysterious.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Not based on a true story. A lot of people think all these horror movies are based on true stories. However, it's based on a serial killer named Ed Gein, who was famous for killing people, taking their body parts, drying them out, and then making belts out of them and like wearing them as masks and all sorts of creepy stuff.
He made a
like
lampshade.
Lampshade, that's right.
Lampshade was almost skin. Ed Gein, crazy boy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ed Gein, did I say the name wrong? Oh, well, who
It's okay.
cares?
No worries.
He's a murderer. I could call him Ed Penis. It doesn't matter.
Penis.
I'll give you a fun fact about that movie.
Okay.
Texas
Tell me.
Chainsaw Massacre. Allegedly, because they don't really have they have an uncredited actor for the guy who plays Leatherface. It's allegedly Richard Kind.
Who's that?
He did the voice of Bing Bong in Inside Out. He was in Just
okay.
Shoot Me, or no, not Just Shoot Me. What was the one with Jamie Foxx?
What movie was it?
No, it was a show. with it.
What goes on in the show? Trigger my memory.
It's a show about politics, but funny, and it starred the guy from Back to the Future. What's his name?
Not
Jamie
Michael
Foxx.
J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
There you go. Oh,
is the main
God.
actor, and then Richard Kind was like his advisor.
Okay.
And then he shook the world with his great acting.
What a jerk.
Totally, sorry. this
Wow,
is
it's too soon, bro.
Edit that out.
Let's not put that in. I guess it's staying in there. But along with classics, when I think of Halloween, I also like to watch a campy horror movie. Some of the campiest movies out there include Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Anybody ever seen that one? It is like terribly good. It was done on a super low budget. The guys are puppeteers, so most of their budget went to like creating their amazing
monsters.
puppets and all this stuff. And it's funny because it's like these clowns who are aliens, right? And they land on Earth in their spaceship, which is like a circus tent. I guess they came to Earth to capture people and take them home. And the way they do that is that they shoot them with a ray gun that wraps them in cotton candy. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting concept.
They're making a video game for it.
Are they really?
Yeah, there's a video game coming out, I think, at the end of this year. And they're going to do it like you know how they did the Friday the 13th video game? The
No, I
one that
never played that one.
You haven't played that one? It's awesome. Oh, my God. Okay, you get a choice. In the Friday 13th one, you can be either the campers trying to get out of Camp Crystal Lake, or you can play as Jason.
Okay.
So you have an option. So you can either like destroy the campers, or the campers figure a way to get out of the game. So they're going to do something like that for the Killer Clowns
Yeah, I see
game.
here. There's some gameplay and stuff. Let's watch the clip. We have the magic of editing. Isn't that nice?
Yeah. Another campy one, I thought, and to me, it's one of those guilty pleasure movies. Freddy versus Jason.
I love it.
That one is so campy.
was
They
like-
literally takes place on a campground.
It was like 13 Jasons and like 16 Freddy Kruegers before they made that one, right?
Yeah.
They have so many versions of those movies.
It was like the two horror icons go head to head, or that kind of.
They're trying to kill each other until
Yeah.
the end, and then they kill the kids. I don't remember.
And at the end, you think Jason wins, right? Because like he has Freddy's head
But it's
in
a
his
dream.
hand,
Oh,
and
I
then
remember that.
bro, and then the head is still alive. He like
Yeah,
winks.
Right, because he's in the dream.
Is he in the dream?
Maybe.
Oh,
That's
I
what-
don't know.
It could be
I
either
didn't.
or. Think about
Wow,
it.
you're really thinking deep about this movie that's supposed to be very surface level.
No way.
I like that.
Think about it, because Freddy Krueger, right, is in your nightmares, right?
But he comes out of your nightmares and
He can't die in your nightmares. So he's setting up Jason to think that he's won the battle, but Jason's really asleep. Homie got tired, took a nap.
There you go. Okay.
In the middle of the battle. Man, they battled for a long time. I'd be tired.
Yeah.
I'd want to take a nap. I'd want to take a break.
Who's
And
your
it-
favorite of the two, Jason or Freddy?
Oh, good question. Good question.
I think Freddy, because he's
he has
funny.
a better personality.
Yeah. You know, we're comics, so we want to be funny.
Yeah.
Jason is kind of like a strong, silent type. I don't like
Yeah,
that. I don't
yeah.
fuck with him.
Yeah, you know, he's hard to read. You don't know if he wants to be your friend or if he wants to chop your head off.
Yeah. Just make sure that you don't have sex anywhere near him.
Definitely not.
That was like the beginning. Like the very first Jason movie was like, we're just going to kill anybody doing bad things. So if you notice, all the kids doing drugs get killed. Of course, all the black people. And then
And they die first.
it's fucked up, man. I think Scary Movie did a whole thing about it. Like, why don't we survive? I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe I'm thinking in an alternate universe. All right, we're canceled now. Thank you
So-
for
Okay, now we're canceled. No more episodes.
Well, we're going to get canceled right now for what I'm going to bring out. Okay.
Let's hear it.
Famously, in that movie, Kelly Rowland of One Destiny's Child was in that movie.
Uh-huh.
And
Jason versus
Freddy versus Jason. And she famously had a line about calling Freddy also something that starts with an F.
Oh,
And then she became a Baptist.
No,
Yes.
really?
Yeah, it's very famous.
Oy.
And she ad-libbed that. She ad-libbed that
I
line.
mean,
They
back
kept
in
it
the
in.
day, you could do that. I mean, what's the song that the Black Eyed Peas have? If you listen to the uncensored version, "Let's Get It Started."
Yeah.
It's not what they say. Roll the clip.
And now we're canceled.
I didn't say it. It was Fergie, dude. I didn't say that.
Okay, so then here's like kind of like a curveball campy movie. And
Kick Curveball to Kick Curveball is only a movie that you saw.
no way other people have seen this movie.
Raul, have you ever seen this movie?
Bubba Hotep. Have you heard of that movie?
No, bro. You're gonna,
Okay, check it out.
Hold on. In the
This
comments,
sounds a
real
little
quick,
racist, so I'm scared
Bubba
already.
Hotep. It's not. It's not.
Leave in the comments if you ever even heard of this movie. I've never heard of this movie. I've heard of Children of the Corn. I've never seen it, you know? I've never seen the original Psycho, but I knew about it.
I want the people.
Bubba Hobart? What is this?
I want the people to explore a movie that they perhaps never heard about and
Bubba
check it out. I'm not
Hotep.
saying it's a great movie. I'm saying it's a campy movie, and it's a movie about a guy who is elderly. He's living in a retirement home, and the twist here is that he is Elvis Presley. and he stole the identity of an Elvis Presley impersonator back in the 70s when he is said to have died, so that he could live the rest of his life in obscurity and tranquility because the fame had gotten to him, right? And now he's old and he's living in a retirement home, and there's an evil Egyptian spirit that's killing off all the old people. So he has to become a detective kind of and figure out what's going on, who's this evil Egyptian thing, and how do they stop it. And it's a very campy horror comedy. It's a good movie.
It sounds like an Abbott and Costello movie, like Elvis meets the Mummy or some shit.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it's like weird. It's like, what are you doing over there?
Bro, I've never seen someone adjust more on a podcast than Pico. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so
Okay, we have the magic of editing.
we talked about the 70s, right?
Yes.
Now we got to talk about the 80s. And when I think about the 80s
I
classics...
mean, Jason versus Freddy was not in the 70s, but I get what you're saying.
Well, we're jumping around, right?
We're
We said
jump around.
the last category was campy. We said 70s. Now we said campy. Now we're going...
Now that we're talking about the 80s.
Now we're talking about the
this
80s.
is Halloween.
No, that came out later.
came out
That
in
came
the
out.
90s.
But Halloween.
Yes.
That's a quintessential 80s. Although
Wait, that's the Exorcist one? What was the Halloween one? Let's play this game again. Let's play.
No,
Can
no, that-
you?
No, you had it right.
that was the right. That was the right
a-
one.
that was the Halloween
Yeah,
one?
yeah. Do it
Yeah,
again. Do it again. I'm doing the bass.
And then this was always the movie of the guy who just walked. No matter how much you ran, he was always fucking behind you.
For real.
Ah!
And I think,
and he's like,
and one interesting thing that I think everybody knows, but that mask, you know about the mask,
of
right?
course. Fun fact that everybody knows: that mask was actually a mask of Captain
Kirk.
I was gonna say Luke Picard, but that's a different one. That's a different Captain.
Captain Kirk from Star Trek.
Yeah. And they just spray painted it white because
That's
they
it.
had no money.
Yeah.
And then it became this huge movie that blew up Jamie Lee Curtis, right? That wasn't that
That's
one.
right. Jamie Lee Curtis.
She still never dies. She's still doing that movie.
She was so hot in
60
True Lies
years.
with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God, dude.
That was like her peak.
Dude, that's such like a great. I don't care how
She
much
was-
of hermaphrodite she is. Oh my God.
Oh, is she a hermaphrodite?
Allegedly. I don't
didn't
believe
know
the
that.
rumors, but
Why we got to go there?
Oh, no.
Canceled again.
Oh gosh.
Let
we
me just
got-
ask you: can she box in Olympic boxing?
That's how we know if she's really a woman or not.
So do you know who did the soundtrack for Halloween?
Was it also Jimmy Buffett?
No.
May he rest in peace.
No, the director, John Carpenter. He was
Oh, he did he directed
John
it?
Carpenter
How,
does most
how
of the
is
scores.
Raul more prepared for your podcast than you are? He's the sound guy.
This is perfect. This is what I need. He is so prepared.
John Carpenter does most of the scores for most of his movies.
Wow.
So for that, Escape to from New York, Big Trouble Little China, all the movies he does the scores for him.
That's
He has a
crazy.
very
He could be like, "Oh yeah, I know how to play the piano."
he has like a super famous quote that like
He's
if
so talented. He knows how to play 3 keys on the piano.
bro,
Raul's being
they
serious.
do
over
concerts.
here.
He does concerts, bro. He does sell
All right.
concerts.
Bro, finish your story.
So oh my God, what's this guy's name? I just
God.
forgot. John Carpenter.
Carpenter, yeah.
He has a very, very famous quote out there that if a house is a movie, the wallpaper of the house should be the sound.
That's a good quote.
White and boring. All right, next. Hocus Pocus.
Wait, hold on. Wait, we're still in the
Hocus
80s.
Pocus. That's
I'm trying to
90s,
move
bro.
on.
We're,
Yeah,
Child's
come on.
Play. Child's Play.
Yeah, Chucky.
You think of
Ooh,
Chucky when you
good
think
one.
of 80s horror, don't you?
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch that. I was too young.
Well, I know I didn't watch it when I was a baby, but
creepy.
like, you know, in the 90s, after the movies were a few years. By the time I got watching Child's Play, I was already like by the 5th one that had come out already. I think it was him and his girl, the bride of Chucky or whatever.
I just liked seeing that one because she had cleavage, and I was like, yeah, I can.
And she had a sexy voice. Like, I don't know that girl. She always had that.
actress, yeah.
She's in Liar, Liar, that girl with
She
the sultry
smoked
voice.
a pack of cigarettes.
Stabbings went out with Bundy and Dahmer. You look like Martha Stewart with that thing.
Who the is Martha Stewart?
Interesting thing about Chucky, right? His name is Charles Lee Ray, which is a combination of 3 killers.
Charles
Manson, right?
Harvey Lee Oswald.
Who killed Kennedy and
Ray Charles. Who
no,
was
bro,
blind.
Ray Charles.
He killed it on piano.
James Earl Ray, who killed Martin Luther King Jr.
Not to be confused with James Earl Jones,
Who has a beautifully
who
deep
was
voice.
your father
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was Darth Vader.
in Star Trek. I know all the movies.
Nightmare on Elm Street is another one that I think about with the 80s.
First time you see Johnny Depp in a big movie.
That's right. I think that was his first movie ever, perhaps.
I don't know. I don't know if 27 Jump Street or that came out first.
No. This was first, I think.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe this was his first. Actually, you know what? I don't know now. But I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Nightmare on Elm Street was his first appearance in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. Internet. tell
Johnny
me
Depp went to school in Miami, Florida.
Fun fact.
He did.
My name's Jeff.
My
That's
name's
not
Jeff.
That's not the same movie, right?
No.
All right, we can move on to Hocus Pocus.
Movies that I loved as a kid.
I loved
Hocus Pocus.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica.
What did you like about her?
Oh, we all know.
The intelligence of the character.
She was so smart.
It was.
She really
it was
made me
just-
think.
That corset was so intelligent. Oh my god.
That was like the first entry in the Sex and the City diary, right? When I was young and witchy.
Before she got a horse face.
She just came out saying that she doesn't remember anything about the character, anything about the role. She
was-
blocked it out.
She was really in the role.
She was really in
Yeah,
character
yeah.
then, yeah.
It was that dumb.
Interesting thing about that movie is that the main character of Max the role was originally going to go to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh,
but he declined it so that he could go be in What's Eating Gilbert Grape, which then allowed him to get his very first Oscar nomination.
Which he did not win.
Of course not. He didn't
And
win
then
until
he
The Revenant many years later. But man, what a good decision, right? Because we still know who Leo DiCaprio is, but can you tell me who the guy that played Max in the Hocus Pocus movie is?
Oh,
I have
yeah.
no idea who that guy is.
If we do the math, do you think it took him 25 years to get an Oscar, and that's why he doesn't date anybody who's older than 25?
27.
That's
It's
a
like
good
curse, right?
Gigi Hadid pushed it to 27.
Interesting theory here.
That's my theory, not a
Guys
conspiracy.
on the internet, anybody? And of course, Nightmare Before Christmas, another movie that I loved as a
Finally,
kid.
that's not a Halloween movie. That is a Christmas movie.
That is a Halloween movie, bro.
Come on. It's called Nightmare.
Before Christmas.
Nightmare. Okay, you're right. Okay, but this is Halloween. That song. This is Halloween.
Because they come from a town that only celebrates Halloween.
Guys,
Okay.
no matter how we feel, if it was Christmas or Halloween, it definitely gave birth to hot goth girls. Can we
Oh
give?
my goodness! Every hot goth girl wants to be.
Oh my God, that and the
what's
Crow.
the name of the girl in that movie? I don't even.
Oh,
That's another movie.
Sarah. Is it Sarah?
All I know is this is Halloween.
What's interesting about Nightmare Before Christmas is that was a poem that was written by Tim Burton while he was still an animator for Disney. And a lot of people think that he directed the movie, but he
Sally.
didn't. He
Sally was
produced
her
it.
name.
Sally. Sally is the name of the girl, yeah. This is a controversial hot take. I believe Nightmare Before Christmas is a Halloween movie.
What's more of a Halloween movie, Hocus Pocus?
This
or-
is a Halloween movie.
Oh, and
right
Hocus
now.
Pocus is definitely a Halloween movie.
There's trick or treating in Hocus Pocus.
There's trick or treating in Nightmare Before Christmas.
There is.
Because you trick or treat on Christmas. You goes around
You
singing
do.
carols and saying,
Okay.
"Give me candy." All right,
The-
whatever. It's a Halloween movie.
The villain in Nightmare Before Christmas, I mean, is way scarier. Oogie Boogie's a scary.
he's
Oogie
scary.
Boogie is Santa Claus, right?
Oogie Boogie Man.
All right, guys. I don't remember that movie very much. I think it was a Christmas movie, but I forget.
Is Halloween and Christmas just the same thing?
What you're saying is that you put up your Halloween decorations and you leave them until after Christmas, and you just spruce
There
them
you
up.
go.
The only Halloween decoration that you can leave up is Jack, and the Nightmare Before Christmas Halloween decoration. It's a twofer. It's
My
both.
wife has a 12-foot skeleton that she puts in the front yard. This year,
put a
we're going to
little
put
hat.
it up for Halloween, and we're just going to put a Christmas hat
Christmas
on
hat.
it. You know how long it takes to put that thing up? I say we just keep it up for, a few months. Why not enjoy it?
The skull is the size of Raul's belly. It's really
It's
big.
a big, big skull.
Big skull.
big.
All right, Casper.
Casper.
Oh,
That was a good one.
Okay, who is your bigger crush? Was it Sarah Jessica Parker in Hocus Pocus or Christina Ricci in Casper?
It was actually Casper. I was really into the ghosts. He was really friendly.
Ooh, Casper.
Non-binary.
I like Christina Ricci. I think she was cute. And I was a kid when I saw that
I think
movie.
we were around the same age. She might be a year older than me.
Yeah.
Really?
So, it was like the perfect age to be like, oh, a
Hot
older
older
woman.
chick.
Yeah, like,
She's 6 months older than me. Wow, she's so mature.
I liked her in Adam's Family.
Yeah, no, yeah, I liked her in Addams Family too.
I used to get weird boners.
It's called Addams Family Values.
Is it Addams Family Values the full name of like the original,
That's the
like the
second one.
1991
That was the one where they went to camp.
But is it
sure.
a
Ba-da-ba-ba.
Halloween movie?
Da-na-na-na.
It's not a Halloween, but it's a movie you watch
During Halloween, right? The Halloween
Halloween.
season has the spooky vibe.
When
to
did
it.
Wednesday come out, right? And they have like it is kind of spooky and
Morticia Addams, that was originally gonna go to Cher instead of Angelica Houston. And the reason that Cher didn't do it, she thought that the Addams Family wasn't a big enough name to prop up her already like declining career. So she passed on it. But that movie was a huge hit.
huge hit. Do you think she would have been in auto-tune in the whole movie? Do you
believe in
love
after love? If
Yeah,
I could turn
probably.
back time.
She used to sing good. You know, she got older and now she relied on auto-tune. I guess.
No, it was just a gimmick. It's like T-Pain. Let me buy you a drink. He doesn't need auto-tune.
Yeah, he sings good. He sings good.
He sings great.
Yeah.
Have you heard him do
The crazy train.
Yeah, he did Crazy Train. It was great.
All right, great. This is gonna be cool.
Talking
Awesome.
about Angelica Houston, she also did another movie that I loved as a kid called The Witches.
Yeah.
You guys ever see that one?
That's a scary movie.
That one's
bro.
scary.
When you're a kid.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The
that
witches
freaks
turn you
out.
into a mouse.
Yes, dude.
And
we
then,
did
like-
forget though is that Raul Julia, the guy who played Gomez,
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P.
also played M. Bison
Yes.
in Street Fighter.
That's right. He did.
And he was reading to be in Desperado, but you know he was sick and he was in the hospital reading for Desperado and he didn't quite make it out.
Yeah.
Man,
So
one
he passed
guy-
away right after that.
I
movie
wish that
came
he
out.
lived longer. That guy was so good.
He was so talented.
So good.
Like, it was like cool, like Latino representation, right? Because he's Puerto Rican
Yeah.
and his accent was cool.
If you ever want to catch an old movie that he's really good in called Tequila Sunrise. Really good movie.
Oh, I never seen it.
It's good. I think it's him and I want to see Kurt Russell. Oh, I think it's really good. Gotta check it out.
It's a good
Yeah.
movie
Yeah.
and an even better drink.
Just going back to the witches real quick. There's a scene because it's a conference, right? And it's all these witches, and they all go into this big conference room, and they lock the doors. And then Angelica Houston, who plays the main witch, she says something like, "You can all get comfortable now." And then they all start taking off their wigs and their like fake noses and all this stuff. I always thought like, man, these witches are ugly, you know, and they're scary, and it's because they're all actually all dudes
Yeah.
dressed in drag, right? And they're pulling off all this stuff, and they're supposed to be feminine, but they look like dudes, and that makes sense now
That
as
movie
an adult.
also gave me weird boners.
Oh boy.
You know who did a lot of the makeup and the prop work for that movie?
Who?
Jim Henson.
Really?
Which is
that
a-
makes sense. I could see some puppetry stuff going on there. Okay, moving on to 90s classics.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. All right, that was not. But
X-Men?
that's the only
Okay.
song I can think of on the moment. You put me on
Look,
the spot.
I'm going to start with The Crow because there's a new Crow that just came out not too long ago. I think back to the original Crow. I loved it. It was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up. It was dark. It was like what Batman should have been when Tim Burton was making Batman like very campy and cartoony. I was a big fan of the original Crow. And also, whenever an actor dies in a movie or before a movie comes out or whatever, I don't know, there's like a morbid curiosity that
Yeah.
follows it. Obviously, Brandon Lee died during the making of that movie. Coincidentally, he is shot to death in real life during the scene where his character is meant to be shot to death. So that's kind of interesting and weird. And
It was when he was standing on top of the table, right?
well,
Is
it's
that
like
scene?
whenever they're in the apartment, they're shooting him to kill him.
Yeah.
And they actually shot him and killed him for real. Obviously,
Yeah.
that footage was never released, and the director burnt it, destroyed it, or so he claims.
But the movie came out.
But the movie came out, and the movie hadn't.
But why wouldn't they use that footage?
Bro, respect.
Gotta respect
Well, they used the footage in The Exorcist.
of her breaking her back, but,
But
she didn't
no
die.
morir. She didn't die, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Bro, if I do a movie and I die in a pivotal scene,
Okay.
you better use that.
Ay,
footage.
oh my.
I put my life.
I don't
on
know.
the
Maybe
line
there's
for
some
this.
laws, like out of.
You think they're gonna put the scene in Rust where Alec Baldwin actually
Well,
shot the
they
lady?
never made the movie. It wasn't production. It was just they were just.
Yeah,
practicing.
I don't even know how far along they got.
Yeah, that was just.
They're
like
gonna
a
release the
read.
movie. They're,
Are they
they're,
really
they're
releasing
talking
the
about
movie?
But
releasing
they didn't.
Rust. Yeah.
They were just reading. It wasn't even like.
No,
like a
they were
practice.
filming.
no, I think they were filming, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were filming.
I wouldn't use that. No.
Yeah, they were filming that.
I mean,
movie.
I guess because she's not part of the movie, right? It's not the.
Well, she's the
character.
DP. She's the director of photography, so she's not in the movie.
Right. There's no character.
But there's the
that you
supposedly
She
the
just
shot.
got DP'd by a bullet.
It's like he's pointing straight at the camera with the gun, and he's shooting at the camera. That's obviously why Elena Hutchins was shot in the chest, because he was aiming right at her, apparently unaware that there was a real bullet inside of the gun.
I don't think that he would have like. Oh yeah. There's a,
No, of course not. He didn't know. Of course he didn't know. Why would he shoot her?
You said allegedly, so I just wanted to.
Well, because
We don't want to get sued.
facts
here.
are
Este
not.
segmento ha sido patrocinado
it's
por
like what, bro? Have you seen like
lawyers for you.
There's like a video of a guy killing another guy. Like allegedly he stabbed the dude. Like, dude,
Did
there's
you
a
say
video of it,
something
but
on
that's
the
what they
internet
say.
that you shouldn't have. Call us, lawyers for you. We'll defend you and your right to say stupid shit on the internet.
But I do love that movie. I love The Crow. You know what's an underrated part of that movie? The soundtrack, man.
Great
the
soundtrack.
You got The Cure, Pearl Jam's on that soundtrack.
here.
It's so good.
It is that
And it has that song though.
when you
Wait.
said that, the curiosity about seeing movies of people who pass away, it made me think of The Imaginarium. That was Heath Ledger's
Yes.
unfinished movie that then other actors jumped in to
Filled
do the
in.
characters.
The interesting thing about The Crow is that he is killed before the entire film is finished shooting.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, this is early 90s, I believe 1991. They don't have CGI or anything. So this is actually one of the very first movies where they do a face transfer or whatever, where like they take shots of him that weren't used in the movie. They like rotoscope his face and they put it on another actor's body for some scenes. But if you watch the beginning of that movie, you're going to notice that there's a good portion, maybe a good 20 minutes, where he's like walking through dark alleys. You don't see his face. He's going up the stairs to his apartment where he's killed. You don't see his face. Then he's like putting on the makeup, but you don't quite see you never see his face for the first 20 minutes. And then after that whole scene is done, that's when it picks up with, stuff that he actually filmed.
Yeah.
Interesting movie.
And then he became a WCW wrestler.
It is
Kane.
Sting. No, Sting.
Oh, Sting.
Sting took he changed his whole Surfer Boy Super USA gimmick to being Sting being up in the rafters and scaring other
In
wrestlers.
The Crow.
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Shake, shake,
Shake,
shake,
senora.
Shake the body right.
Work, 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 senora. Work it all the time.
Come on.
Harry Belafonte. I think of Beetlejuice, I think of Harry Belafonte.
I do too.
That was a great movie. But I saw it recently, and the effect didn't
It
age well.
didn't age well.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it
they
was
did a
still
lot
cool.
of claymation in that movie.
Claymation and stop motion animation as well.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Another fun fact about that movie. Michael Keaton's only in that movie for like 20 minutes.
No.
Yeah,
Really?
it's crazy. They did a full like Jaws of thing, like hide the monster until the end. So they kept him in. Like if you think about that movie's really Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
And then in the very end, it's Michael Keaton.
Now the new one came out.
What a movie!
What a great
Wow.
movie.
That was a movie.
I definitely saw it, and it was. You have to
It
add
was
the voice.
so cool. I remember the part where they...
Yeah, you add the voice after. And you remember that scene where they roll the clip.
Okay.
Candyman.
Candyman. The only thing really that I remember about that movie that sticks with me is that we used to, as kids, go into the bathroom and turn off all the lights, look in the mirror, and we would say Candyman 3 times or Bloody Mary 3 times.
Yeah, it was never Candyman. It was Bloody Mary.
Yeah, you'd have to be brave to say it the 3rd time. Because Bloody Mary would come out, right? Did you ever do that?
I would go into the bathrooms, and then I would poop. And so everybody would come out screaming, ah! I was like, I thought we were going to do this. It's like a fun
Smells
little
like
prank.
death.
Fun little prank
I
to
don't
play
see
with your
her, but
friends.
I
It's un
definitely smell
fantasma.
her.
It smells like death.
Oh my god.
What about all
I
the
think
Stephen,
I hear her.
about all the Stephen King movies?
Oh man,
Poop
fart
jokes.
They
Hilarious.
never get old.
jokes.
Stephen King, another guy who is amazing at telling a good scary story, and it's perfect for Halloween, right? My personal favorite, The Shining.
Down here, we all float, Georgie.
Well, that's
my
it.
favorite.
That's it.
yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't remember seeing The Shining too much because I think it was like before my time. We know it's a classic. We know that all work and no play make Johnny a dull boy. That's from that movie.
Yeah. I mean, it
I
was
also
before
know-
my time, but I still watched it.
Fun
all the
fact:
time.
they drove the actress insane.
Oh yeah,
They
yeah.
tortured her in that movie.
I heard about
Purposely.
that.
Yeah, to get more reaction from her.
Yeah.
It was
Poor
all
girl.
real because they were friggin'
Yeah. Her name was
torturing
Shelley something, right?
Shelley Duvall.
She quit
Shelley
acting
Duvall.
right after that movie.
I don't think she quit acting because she did Popeye.
that was before us.
Well,
if I'm
blow
not
me
mistaken.
down.
And that movie sucked. I recently watched it because I went through a whole rabbit
Wasn't that
hole.
Robin Williams?
I've seen
Yeah.
old Robin Williams movies, and wow, that was a terrible movie.
It was terrible. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I give it 2 thumbs, way down.
Man, poor Popeye.
Poor Popeye.
But Shelley Duvall had that like such an interesting, like she was beautiful, but she was like interesting with those big eyes, and I thought she was phenomenal in The Shining. The famous scene where Jack Nicholson breaks down the door, the prop department made like a flimsy little door that he could break through. Jack Nicholson had worked as a volunteer fireman, so you know he was just like breaking these doors a little too easily, so they had to put in a regular door and let him do his thing naturally. Macho Cine Talks.
Here's Johnny.
There you go.
Have you seen
That's that
pictures of
famous
Shelley Duvall now?
She died.
I don't think she died.
She
Are
died.
you sure?
Yeah. She died not too long ago, maybe a couple of months ago.
Oh, okay.
Died July 11th, 2024.
Oh, man.
yeah.
glad
I
to see
knew
it.
she had died recently.
Famously, Stephen King did not like the version of this guy. What
Yeah.
was the director's name? Oh my God, Stanley
Kubrick.
Kubrick.
Yeah.
He did not like Stanley Kubrick's version,
Which is
of
weird
The
because
Shining.
it's the best Stephen King movies
All
ever
time.
Executed, in my opinion.
Yeah. So there's a scene in that movie in Shining. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. There's a yellow buggy that gets crushed by like a snowplow in that movie. It's like it creates blockage for the guy. He's trying to run over to the No Look Hotel, the Overlook Hotel. And the reason that he put that in was because Stephen King's car at the time was a yellow buggy.
Oh wow,
He did
okay.
like a hey, screw you, bro. I'm gonna make my own art.
If David were to make a movie like that to shun me, what car would you crush?
I'd crush. You're a big guy. Maybe I'd do something that represents you, like a Mini Cooper, for example.
Bro hates driving in my Mini. That inside joke here, guys. I drive a Mini Cooper.
Yeah, this guy's like 6'5", 300 pounds.
But it's so
drives a Mini
fast. It's
Cooper.
like a little.
I don't want to
go-kart.
stay. I want to stay. I don't hate driving in your Mini Cooper. I hate how you drive your Mini Cooper.
like
I
a
drive
jerk.
like Luigi.
Yeah.
Super Mario Kart.
In other words, like an asshole.
You got to be a Miami driver over here. All right, what other movie? Thinner.
Oh, Thinner. That was, to me, that's one of my favorites because it's such an interesting story, right? The gypsy curses the lawyer and all the other people that he curses, whatever. And then this guy who used to be fat, he starts losing weight and he's loving it at first. He's like, man, I could eat everything I want and I'm still getting skinnier. But then it gets to a point where like, man, no matter how much I eat, I'm still getting skinnier. And he realizes that he's cursed and he has to try to reverse the curse. Like, what
I
an
thought
interesting concept.
Christian Bale was great in that movie.
Christian Bale. He
I
was
always
cool.
think when I saw a movie, like, man, the dad from Beethoven really let himself go.
Is that the same actor?
It's the same actor. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
wow. Cool. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together for that. And of course, you can't talk about Stephen King if you don't mention the It miniseries from 1990, which, by the way, in one of our previous episodes, I mentioned it and I mentioned the story about when I was a kid, my mom put it on by accident and I was traumatized. And people in the comments were like, shut up, bro. You're like 30 years old. That movie came out like 5 years ago. You weren't a kid. I'm like, okay, guys, for the record, I was referring to
The original.
The original It miniseries from 1990 and not the remake in 2017.
I hear that he's going to come back to movies. The guy who plays It, I forget his name right now.
Skarsgård,
Tim Curry?
Tim Curry.
he
I don't think so.
had a stroke.
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
a severe
And-
stroke.
And he's going to be in a movie. They didn't really quite specify if he's going to be a villain or whatever. He might just be like the guy like watching the monitors, you know? Like it looks like a scary movie of people dying and stuff.
So he's going to be kind of like an extra.
He's on the poster.
He looks doodle, bro.
Roll the
I've
clip!
seen him recently.
Yeah. That's crazy. Poor guy.
That's my favorite thing to do because now David has to go look for a clip.
I used to catch pieces of the 1990s It because it would always run on TBS during Halloween, so you always catch like little pieces.
But
of
then
it.
it was also a movie, right? The one with Tim Curry is an It movie, right?
No, it's a It mini series.
Really?
It's 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember, like, I don't know if you guys remember being kids and, like, when October would roll around, like, on UPN or on whatever, all these channels, they would start putting scary movies.
Yeah, like
And it was-
Leprechaun.
Yeah.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
And you felt like it was Halloween. Like, oh, man, Halloween's coming because
they would always
they're
make a
starting to
big
put the
deal.
movies on TV.
The logo would change into the little
Yeah.
pumpkin.
They
I saw
did.
most of my favorite slashers that were
Me
all...
too. That's how I saw all of them.
And they were all censored, too, because it's on
Of course, of course. Pet Cemetery. That's another one. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. Have you seen it? Oh, I love that movie. It's one of my favorites as well. I mean, I love Stephen King. He's probably my favorite novelist, and even some of his bad movies, I love them. But Pet Cemetery, interesting thing about that, he got inspired to write it because he had recently moved to a house that was right next to a highway. All the neighbors had a pet cemetery because all their pets would get killed on this highway. One day his cat got run over, they buried it in the pet cemetery, and one day he's flying a kite with his kid who's only 2 years old, and he looks away for a second and the kid is racing towards the highway. And luckily he grabbed them in time, nothing happened, but he thought to himself, what if? Interestingly, that is one of the stories that's closest to something that really happened to him in real life.
The creepiest part of Pet Cemetery is not even any of the zombies, not even any of the dead air characters. It's the sister. Ziola, what's her name? Oh my God. The sister that she crawls out of bed.
Yeah. You don't think that the old neighbor, the guy that he plays,
He's Mr. Mustard.
I thought he was creepy.
The dead should stay dead. Like,
But he was cool. He's creepy, but he's cool. Like,
Dad's better.
yeah, Dad's better. Yeah.
The Ramones made a theme song for that movie.
Did they?
Yeah. I never want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking through David's notes down here, and this guy has 1 million shows and movies to go by. So sit tight, because this is going to be a 6-hour episode.
This is going to be a long, I didn't realize.
We're not even halfway through it. We're
I
almost
literally
done.
went through like, I think
And
I
this
did
guy
too
put
much.
a lot of work.
I
We're going to
think
have to do a second episode.
This might have to be 2
because we
episodes.
haven't mentioned Psycho. We haven't mentioned Scream. We haven't mentioned I Know What You Did Last Summer, all the Final
We
Destination
haven't
movies,
mentioned anything.
The Walking Dead, The Last of Us, Strange Things, Signs,
Okay.
The Village, The Sixth
Let's go
Sense.
through this quick.
I'm going to finish the episode right now. Paranormal Activity, The Welder, Trick or Treats, gory horror movies, A Quiet Place.
I think I overkilled this one.
I think a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can tell that David likes horror films. And this is a good opportunity to plug my favorite movie, The Welder.
The
And
Welder.
The Welder is a super handsome, a little bit chubby
Uber driver.
who drives around in his hippy-dippity plug-in electric.
Guys, this is the movie that you want to watch this Halloween. The Welder. Directed by yours truly, David Liz. That's me, guys. You're going to love it. No, seriously, though. It's a movie that we worked on, the movie that we did. I directed it. Pico acts in it.
I only got the part because I knew David, so very much nepotism.
Who cares?
I wish I would have gotten a better part, but whatever. We'll discuss that another day.
That'll be for the sequel.
Son of a bitch. I'm not even in the posters. Like,
Check it out.
This guy says he's my
This
friend.
movie is so cool because not only because I made it, but because it's a perfect Halloween movie. It's about this guy. He's a welder, and he chops people up, and he welds them back together again. He's trying to cure racism, all right?
I give it 2 thumbs up.
How does he want to solve this issue of racism that we have in this world? Well, why doesn't he just cut off some limbs from a black person and from a white person and switch them? And there you go. How can you be racist against yourself? You know what I mean?
Do you give him...
This is the concept of the movie. It's perfect for Halloween. It's one of those gory / social thrillers. You'll like it. I'm telling you. You guys
Do you
should
give
watch
him an
it.
Asian penis?
That's probably going to be in part 2.
You should watch it on Amazon Prime for $7.99.
And guys, for real, no, this movie's great. It's fun. It's Halloweeny, and you'll love it. And I directed it.
It's
so
also for free on
support your boy. All right. Anyways,
It's a Frankenstein of equality.
the Frankenstein of equality. There you go.
YouTube. What's the tagline?
We're all
chop,
red inside.
Rinse, repeat.
Well,
weld, repeat.
the original tagline was "We're all red inside," and then the distributor Terror Films I love them. Thank you guys for distributing my film. They changed it to cut, stitch, weld, repeat.
My tagline would have been like, "Don't stare at my brown hole."
Okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Sorry.
This guy's creative. Okay. So
You gotta throw a few misses, right, before you got a good hit.
yeah. For sure. So the welder's not my first miss. It's my third. I'm just kidding. Guys, I'm up for a home run. It's coming, I promise. Okay, so old school horror classics. Nosferatu. There's like a new Nosferatu now.
2024.
Yeah. Originally made in 1921, the very first vampire movie to be made. It's a silent film. It's a German film. And it was so scary that it was banned in Sweden. It was only like allowed to be watched again in 1972, 50 years later. Wow. So imagine, that's how scary that movie was for people. Psycho. Alfred Hitchcock. Dun, dun, dun.
Never saw the original. I mean, not the entire piece. I only saw the Vince Vaughn remake that they made in 1997.
Well, interesting, you know, that those chords, those distorted chords. Alfred Hitchcock didn't want that. He didn't want the movie to have music at all. He wanted it to be quiet. And his wife convinced him to add the music. And later on, he's quoted as saying, 33% of the success of this movie is because of the music. So, guys, sometimes you got to listen to your wife. And like I have listened to my, hold on. This is my shout out.
Always have to listen to your wife.
This is my shout out.
Fix it so she likes it. Let's go.
Always we have to listen to our wives.
There we go.
And I got to give a big shout out to my wife for reminding me of all of these wonderful horror movies that we're sharing with you today. She is a horror fanatic. She was born in October. She's a Halloween baby. And so I got to give her thanks for giving me the idea to do this episode and giving me a lot of these ideas for these movies and talking points.
She likes living scared, you know. Imagine waking up next to this man every day.
So, Psycho. So when Universal Studios was built, if you ever went when you were younger,
You have the back lot.
so there was a backlot area, and the house you could see on like a hill, which was like a prop house
In Orlando?
in Orlando.
They had the
They had a
The
they had
Psycho house up there?
So it was where do you know where the Lucy store used to be?
Look, the thing is that I was poor when I was a kid, so I
So
never
you
went to
should've went to
Universal. I went to Universal Studios when I was already an adult. Like Jaws, by the time I went to Universal Studios, Jaws was gone, King Kong was gone.
Oh, man.
So like I went literally like as a 20-year-old person.
Oh man.
So
I vaguely remember King Kong because I was so little,
Yeah.
like because the fire was so hot. Like, oh.
I remember I got stuck on the King Kong ride, and all I was doing was looking at his nipple for like 5 straight minutes.
They have a King Kong now, but it's all like
Yeah.
everybody tells me that the old Universal was so cool with the Twister ride.
Dude.
and,
It was
like,
dope.
I
the
missed
T2
all that.
ride, all that. It was really, really
Earthquake was dope.
Earthquake was cool. Oh my god. R.I.P. all that stuff, man. It was the best.
I think it's still dope. Like I love the Harry Potter land.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the Men in Black one. I'm trying to think through the Dueling Dragons. I think they changed the name of that now.
It's part of Harry Potter now.
Yeah, and
they have the Simpsons too.
The
no?
Simpsons.
Yeah, I think the Simpsons.
All,
one's
all those
okay.
VR things make me nauseous,
Yeah.
man.
That used to be the Back to the Future
Yeah,
ride, which
yeah,
was
yeah.
awesome. I hate that they took that away.
I actually feel like I did get a chance to ride that one. That might have been one of the last
Yeah.
ones they took out.
The one I'm praying to God they never take out is the Mummy ride. I love that ride.
Oh, what a
so
classic.
Oh,
much.
but that one's great and it has the drop and everything.
Oh, it's
Well, they
awesome.
just refreshed the Jurassic Park too, if I'm not mistaken. No,
I think
Velociraptors now.
Yeah, they have like.
Oh yeah, when you see the Tyrannosaurus Rex at the end or whatever.
Velociraptor, free on Tubi. Roll the clip. Have you
Yeah,
seen that? What a terrible movie.
Is that a real movie?
Yes,
Oh,
Velocipastor.
Velocipastor.
Dude,
Velociraptor.
it's a werewolf velociraptor situation with a pastor.
Oh boy, you know what? That should have been on the list. It's not on the list, but this is one.
Roll the
clip. Shut up, damn it. all right. Let's move on. I'm not even gonna talk about Rosemary's Baby, even though Rosemary's Baby is an incredible old school horror classic, and the real tragedy of that movie is directed by Roman Polanski, who was married to Sharon Tate, who is one of the victims of Charles Manson and his posse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I was looking at you because I wasn't sure if you were going to make that comment that you made earlier.
We did a Zoom call earlier,
Yeah.
so we could be like, "Yeah, let's have that." So I made a joke, and he's like, "I'm gonna set him up for the joke," and then I left him hanging like an asshole.
What a jerk. He's
all-
like, well, technically, Charles Manson.
Didn't kill anyone. All right, so free my man. He didn't do anything wrong. He just gave people ideas.
Oh man, this is not like an old movie. You guys, I love this movie so much. I don't know if you guys want to talk about it. Lost Boys.
Oh, the Lost Boys.
dude,
Yeah,
I
no,
love Lost
we'll
Boys.
talk about that later under
Okay,
vampires.
my bad.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not gonna get there, bro.
Well-
We're already at the hour almost.
Oh, we in the hour already? Okay,
We're
okay,
like-
okay.
we're close.
Well, we'll get as close as we can get.
I started rewatching Final Destination. What great
Okay,
movie.
90s teen classics, Final Destination. That's
I know
one
what
of
you
them.
did last summer. One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, something irrational about me when I was a young man, I would see these movies and I would get so angry when they killed off the hot girls. Like, damn, could have killed that. Why don't you kill off that dude?
Why don't you kill out the ugly guy?
Why'd you? What the hell, man?
Yeah,
Why'd you gotta kill Sarah Michelle Parker?
yeah. Sarah Michelle Parker,
I just made up a
Sarah
name.
Michelle Gellar, and
Did she die in that movie? I don't remember.
That's where her and Freddie Prinze
Mercury.
Yeah.
Jr. they met and then eventually got married or whatever.
Freddie Prinze Jr. just made a movie, by the way, guys, that just released about the girl in the pool. Look it up. It's a terrible movie. I don't recommend it.
Never even heard of it.
I know exactly, but it's out there, so you can see how much
He was
he's
like
aged
the it guy back in the day.
Yeah,
he was like the it pretty boy, and all the girls liked
because of
him.
Freddie Prinze Sr.
Yeah.
Who was
He was a
he's a nepo
comedian.
baby.
He
A
was
comedian?
actually a comedian. Yeah,
Really?
he was a very famous
Nepo
comedian. Freddie Prinze, and then Freddie Prinze Jr. quit acting, and then he became head writer for WWE for like
No.
a decade. Yeah,
really?
yeah, man.
I'll take that job.
I didn't know that. I didn't know he was into wrestling like that.
Oh, he's super.
Did he ever
super.
make an appearance in the ring?
I don't know if he ever made an appearance in the ring, but that's the reason why I think, directed David Arquette's biopic they came out with recently, where David Arquette's wrestling now.
Wow.
Moving back to October movies, the whole genre that you didn't include, I remember now what it was: zombie movies.
Oh, well, I did include
Shaun of the Dead? No, Dawn of the Dead, not
Yeah.
the parody one. Dawn of the Dead, one of my favorite movies because it had funny moments, even though it was supposed to be like a thriller and
Yeah.
horror movie. And then, was it 90 Days Later, 60 Days Later? What is it called? 28 Days
28
Later.
days later, yeah.
What a great movie.
Yeah.
And 28 weeks later, what zombie movies are the best.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they became overdone with The Walking Dead and stuff, and now everything's a zombie movie. But Zombieland was a great zombie movie.
Yeah.
You know, there's still so many great
World
zombie
War
movies.
Z, the Brad
What a
Pitt
great
one.
zombie. You know what? I take everything back. Zombie movies are the best.
Yeah, I love a good zombie movie.
Oh, yeah.
I dig it. I
Oh,
dig
yeah.
it.
The best.
And the original zombie movie, the Michael Jackson Thriller video.
What a great movie. We should make a zombie movie where the zombies are just like diabetic and they're just like looking for fucking Ozempic. Like,
And you know what's another good, like, I guess it's like a zombie show, right? The Last of Us. That's, I mean, it's not really zombies,
Video game. Yeah,
but
zombies.
it's kind of like
mushrooms.
similar,
Mushroom-
whatever
mushroom
concept.
zombies.
Yo, that show was crazy
Yeah,
good.
Daddy
yeah.
Pedro Pascal. That everybody fell in love
Pedro
with.
Pascal is in that movie. I mean,
Oh, Pedro Pascal. He's getting paid $600,000 an episode for Last of Us.
That's not that much.
that's a lot of cheese.
That's not that much.
600,000. Weren't the guys doing Friends making millions of dollars? Per
No, they made it
episode?
after the fact in the royalties, but hold on.
That doesn't sound like a lot. to me.
Really? Well, I thought 600.
Not in Biden's economy.
Yeah, I know, right? That's like $600 in today's economy.
Okay, let's say
Thanks,
it's a
Biden.
12-episode series. You want to know how much?
Let's
it
hear
is?
it. Let's hear it.
It's
Do the math.
7.2 million. bro.
7.2 million.
7.2
Yeah, and
million.
it's probably like 3 or 4 months worth
for
of work.
90 days, maybe 90. I'll give him 90. 90 days work.
Pedro, get it, buddy.
Represent.
Getting it, bro. I'm
Oh,
proud
yeah,
of you.
yeah, that's-
Latino, baby.
I didn't believe him, but I Googled it. My
Original-
wife gets mad whenever I Google something that I don't believe when she says. But David's right. That's what it says here. According to publications,
Yeah.
Google AI says
$600,000.
$600,000.
I'm telling you.
Original.
He doesn't
parent-
believe me.
I didn't.
Do you believe Google?
I mean, the Earth is flat. You know?
The original appearance of Pedro Pascal, Buffy Vampire Slayer.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did appear. And I saw the clip, too. He looks so young. He looks so... He almost doesn't look like himself at all. Have you seen the clip?
Yeah.
He doesn't look like himself.
Bro, the internet says that they just pay Pedro Pascal $600,000 per episode of everything he does. Even The Mandalorian.
Oh, wow.
David, You're gonna have to pay me $600,000 for this episode.
Okay. I'll write you a check, and I'll just date it to 10 years from now.
What other movies, David?
Okay, found footage movies.
Like the Blair Witch Project?
Yes, Blair Witch
What
Project.
other ones? Poltergeist? Wasn't that
No,
one, that
bro, a Paranormal Activity.
too? Oof, I hated that movie because it looks so real. Like, oh my God, it's a video camera. It's a security camera.
Look, that movie was made for $15,000, and $11,000 of those dollars were used
For the
to
actors?
fix the house up and to put cameras up. And then the rest was just for lunch or whatever. Like, nobody got paid. And
Wow.
then he sold the rights to that movie. He sold it to Paramount for $300,000+. And then Paramount made over $100 million off that movie.
How would you feel? Like that you sold your crappy movie.
I'm sure he had some kind of points at,
Well, Jason Blum became like the Hollywood producer on that's the foundation of his
Yeah.
career, was that movie.
What about M. Night Shyamalan? Like,
Oh,
Shamalama Ding Dong?
whose joke was that?
One
that
of
he
my
just stole?
favorite-
Was that Pablo Francisco?
A lot of people say Shamalama Ding
M.
Dong.
Shamanalaga Ding Dong.
Oh, no, okay.
But
Well-
yeah, The Sixth Sense. What a movie!
The Sixth Sense is great. What
and
a
then
twist.
the one
What
he
a
did
movie.
after was pretty good. What was the one after that?
Was it Signs?
Might have been
With Mel Gibson
It was Signs.
and Joaquin
In the
Phoenix.
Waters.
Apparently, Mark Ruffalo was going to be the character that Joaquin Phoenix played, but Mark Ruffalo had a brain tumor. And so he had to pull out. Obviously, he had
And
health
that's
issues.
how he became the Hulk.
Perfect. Makes sense.
I'm so glad that you're doing better, buddy.
Yeah, me too. The Village is another great one. They built the entire village from scratch, and it took 300 workers 11 weeks to build it.
Wow.
It's quite an achievement. And then M. Night Shyamalan is very secretive because all his movies have a twist, right? So he spent, I don't know how much money, but like millions of dollars on security, making sure that no paparazzi could get close to where they were filming or anything like that, because he did not want the twist to be ruined.
What was the one that he did recently where people went out on this island vacation?
Old.
I think you're
Oh, it's old.
Old.
Yes. The Island is the one with Leonardo DiCaprio.
With Ewan McGregor.
Leo DiCaprio's not in that movie, The Island?
No, it's Ewan McGregor.
Are you sure?
1,000%.
It's a good thing we invited Raul to be
Yeah,
our
Raul
sound guy.
knows a lot about movies.
He's a terrible sound guy, but let me tell you, he's very
one-
knowledgeable.
He's one heck of a cinephile.
And if you don't believe me, he's a bad sound guy. Go check out Weird Waters, Kill Tony episode.
Welcome everybody to the Kill Tony special event, where everybody here is trying to be on Kill Tony, and there's only one of us that actually succeeded.
American Psycho. Do you consider that a horror movie?
I love that movie. One of the best.
It's a scary movie.
It's like a,
It's a thriller.
It's a thriller. Apparently, Christian Bale got inspiration from, I think it was David Letterman or one of those late night talk shows. Tom Cruise just looks so perfect, and he was so charming, but he also looked like he was dead in the eyes. And this guy's giving me like an icky kind of feeling. I think I'm gonna use that for my character in American Psycho.
I can definitely see him being, Tom Cruise is like, join Scientology.
One of my favorite Tom Cruise movies of all time is Collateral with him and Jamie Foxx.
Great movie.
Dude, him playing
A bad
Tom Cruise
guy.
really needs to play villains more. He's so good at it. Like,
My favorite villain? Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah. Let's stick to horror. Did you guys ever see that movie Talk to Me? It's like about this wooden hand that, like, when you touch it, you see a ghost,
Oh, I saw the trailers for that, and like the kids were like,
and they get high off of it. But if they hold onto the hand too long, the ghost or the demon or whatever goes inside of them. And bro, that movie is scary and so well done. Like, the ending is crazy.
there's a lot of horror movies recently that come out that a lot of people thought were going to be poop, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
Talk to Me is one of them. Smile
Smile
was really
coming out with
good.
the second part.
Barbarian's another one that was
Barbarian,
really
that was another
good.
crazy one, and that one has such a cool twist. Barbarian is almost like two movies, right?
Yeah.
Like the first quarter or third, nothing to do with the second part of it. And
It it's like a thriller in the beginning. It's like, should I trust these people? Should I not trust these
Yeah.
people? And it goes full monster movie at the end.
I mean,
Beautiful movie.
and then a movie that took the world by storm. What's your favorite scary movie?
Scream.
Yeah. Where they even, made Ghostface into the what's
Yeah, later on.
in scary movies.
You know that scene that they film at the house, like towards the end of the movie, that took 28 days to film, and it was all shot from the moment the sun went down to the moment the sun went up. So by the end of it, the cast and crew were so like sleep deprived and tired of it that they were all wearing t-shirts saying, I survived scene 108, I think it was, or something like that. Can you imagine? Like,
night shoots
for
are
one
rough.
scene.
Dude,
Crazy.
for one scene.
Movies take a long time to shoot.
That's the scene where she's running outside and the sprinklers turn on. And
No, that's the beginning. That's the beginning.
That's the beginning.
That's what you remember, though.
Well, I actually remember the
The
scary movie
one with
yeah.
Carmen Electra. yeah. Okay. Crazy concept movies. Have you guys ever heard of the movie Teeth?
Oh yeah.
Teeth. Have you heard of that movie? Okay, just to give you a quick description, a teenage girl who has teeth in her vagina.
Diente en el toto. En el toto.
And just to give you like some cliff notes and maybe to ruin the ending for you, at the end, she bites a guy's dick off with her vagina
I don't have to see this movie.
and spits it out. So it's crazy concept.
You know, my favorite Halloween movies and October movies have always been the Saw movies. Those were like the first ones where gore became so realistic. I was like, ooh, what the hell? They're showing this?
You know that's James Wan? Is it James
Yeah.
Wan? That's James Wan's first movie, and he had just come out of film school and didn't have the budget to do anything super crazy. So he's like, all right, let me do a movie in one location. And he challenged himself to do it, and he pulled it off. And that movie became so successful that on the first day of the movie's premiere, they got greenlit to do Saw Part 2. Imagine.
And now they've done like 10.
No, now they've done so many. The last one was actually very good.
Where he goes to the doctor's office
Yeah.
or whatever to try to cure the cancer.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
it was actually,
That was so good. I
was
thought the
pretty
movie
good.
was fantastic.
Um,
Another weird concept movie,
go.
Human Centipede. Where, like, for those who haven't seen it, this guy who's a German doctor kidnaps
He cures
3
cancer.
tourists.
And he cures their cancer.
No.
You should definitely watch it.
But he surgically attaches
Each other's cancers to themselves.
he attaches them basically anus to mouth.
It's called ATM.
Yeah. So just imagine the guy in the front eats something. Eventually he has to go number 2. And so the guy that's attached to his butt,
All right, stupid question. I already know what the answer is. But if we're the three of us in the Human Centipede, which one do you want to be?
First, I'm the first one. I called it.
I call him, man.
I think the third guy has it.
Has it
Probably,
the worst?
You know, I mean, it's probably not going to pass the first guy. Like, I mean, the second guy. It's like, well, you can't. What are you gonna? How are you gonna?
Middle's worse. Middle's
worse.
That is an unlucky.
The middle is the
Pierre
worst one
in
for
every
sure.
sense of the word.
But the last guy, even if he doesn't get anything, he still has his mouth attached to somebody's butthole. At least the guy at the front, you know what I mean?
I'd
He
wanna be
doesn't
the
have to
third
eat
guy.
anybody's crap, and his mouth is free for the most part. Another one,
gross.
Tusk. Have you guys heard of
Oh,
Tusk?
Kevin Smith.
So it's like a podcaster who goes to interview this older guy, and this guy is crazy. It's kind of like The Welder in a lot of ways because he's trying to turn this podcaster into a walrus. He takes like the guy's tibias out and like surgically
Wow.
puts them in his mouth, and then he like psychologically messes with him to make him think that he's actually a walrus. I mean, it's weird.
I have to watch it. And the guy from what's it called? Epic Mealtimes in it.
Is he?
Yeah, he's showing up here as a cast.
I didn't know that.
I guess he's a border agent or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Probably
Maybe
like
he had a
a
small
like a
role.
what a like a
Callback. You know who's
It's
in
kind
that
of it's
movie?
kind of like the role that you gave me in your movie The Welder.
But your role is so like unique. It's not forgettable like this guy's role was.
that you can watch for free on Tubi.
Callback. You know who else is in that movie? Mr. Johnny Depp.
Is he?
Oh wow, yeah.
In Tusk?
Yeah.
It's gross. He's not showing
Johnny
up.
Depp and Kevin Smith's girls, they became best friends in like high school, and that's why they worked together.
So check it out.
Or Justin Long.
I think that we can end it with one of the most iconic horror movies ever made,
Dumb and Dumber.
and that's the second most iconic horror movie ever made. Poltergeist. Not only is it one of the most iconic, it's probably also the most cursed movie ever made. We all know the stories of them using real human skeletons in the movie, which, by the way, they weren't the first movie to do that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre used real human skeletons as well. It was, at the time, just easier and more practical to use real human skeletons than to make fake ones that probably weren't going to look as real. And as we know, the little girl that plays in the movie, she died shortly after the movie. There was another lady, another young girl that played in the movie. She was strangled by her boyfriend, and many years later, another one also was stabbed to death. I mean, a lot of people that worked on that movie ended up getting seriously sick or being brutally murdered. Raul,
For the time, great effects. Amazing effects on that movie for the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know. So the part where the skeletons are at,
Yeah, the pool.
one of the people throwing the skeletons at the girl is Steven Spielberg.
Oh, really?
Steven Spielberg's in there throwing
Oh, wow.
skeletons at her.
Wow, okay.
Because he executive produced the movie, and then Tobe Hooper, who was the original director of Texas Chainsaw,
yeah.
he was the director. And
Wow.
then they had like a huge falling out. That's why Tobe Hooper and Steven Spielberg never worked together again.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That was a great fun fact.
Yep.
Thank you, sound engineer, for all your wonderful input.
Raul, you have been amazing. You know
should be-
so much. You should be up
You
here.
should be the host of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
you should.
Really, I don't know why David
Guys,
Liz
I'm gonna
is
retire. Raul, you're gonna be the next host of Macho Cine Talks because you're on top of your game, man. Thank you so much for joining us today, Pico. Thank you for joining us again on episode 5. Is it 5? Yeah, on episode 5 of Macho Cine Talks. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We can't wait for the next episode. What is it going to be? It will be a surprise. Life is full of mysteries. Let's keep it that way, right?
And don't
guys?
forget to catch these podcasts wherever you catch your podcasts, like Spotify and Apple Music, and also on YouTube. He doesn't have any of those things now, but he has to open them because I said it. And
they're going to be open by the time that this goes out.
Follow us on Instagram at Macho Cine Talks. That's 6 S's
On
at the
TikTok,
end.
Macho Cine Talks. YouTube, Macho Cine Talks. It's
OnlyFans.
Macho Cine Talks everywhere, guys.
Macho Cine Buttholes on OnlyFans.
Yeah, well, you got to pay for that one. But every other channel is free. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Peace.
Lights, camera,